All right, guys, so we're gonna do our CARS routine in a side lying position. This is kind of the second installment of CARS from various positions. And this is where we start understanding that your CAR is not married to any one position. Your CAR, or your controlled articular rotation, is simply an expression of the usable space you have within that joint capsule. Now, your position will slightly affect the available space that you have just based on, joint coupling and the position of the actual bones and gravity affecting, how far you can move, okay? So side lying, as we do this, remember, you are only moving one joint at a time. If you find that you're moving your shoulder and your spine, or your hips and your pelvis and your low back, really just kind of pause the video, scale it back, and do a couple more practice repetitions so that you can be very, very picky. This is the time in the programming where it really matters to be super picky, and so take your time with it. Everything kind of builds off of the CARS, and so this is where we become experts in our own internal environment. Let's get into it. You're gonna need, I've got 2 yoga blocks here. If you don't have yoga blocks, you can use a pillow, a squatty potty, really anything that you can stack to lay your head on. And then you're also gonna need one more to stick between your knees at a certain point. So let's go ahead and get down into position for our CARS. First, we're actually gonna eliminate the 2 or whatever you have under your head for a pillow. And we are gonna do a side lying position like this. We're gonna do our neck CARS. So I'm just gonna gently brace myself with my elbow here so that there's some free space here for me to come down into lateral flexion. So we're gonna go ahead and do everything on one side first, and then we'll switch sides and do the other side, okay? So first I'm gonna pull myself down into flexion, rotate, laterally bend, jump that chin forward, rotate up and around. And you might notice right away that this feels different than standing, that you have less range of motion, maybe you have more with the assistance of, gravity pulling you into a stretch. But the way you do the CAR should not change. Switch directions. Wonderful. I think I almost fell asleep there for a second. Actually felt good. All right, so now we're gonna lay down on our side using your prop. It's nap time. These are the nap CARS, Cold Girl CARS nap edition. All right, now we're gonna do our scap. So what I want you to do is make sure that your shoulders are stacked one on top of each other and your hips are stacked one on top of each other, okay? We don't wanna be open, be a little closed off right now. Arm is straight out in front of you, keeping it parallel with the floor, and we're gonna go ahead and do our scapular CARS here. So push that arm forward, raise it up, hide your neck, pull back, and then depress. And you'll notice just being in a different position in space kind of is like a little bit of a mind fuck as far as what to do next. And this is really good that we are experiencing this because it teaches you to be aware of your joint no matter what position you're in. Switch directions. So now we're going to retract up into elevation, protract, down into depression. Last one. Nice. Oof, brutal. All right, so now we're going to do our elbow CARS. So I'm going to have you take your yoga block and just kind of place it somewhere between your humerus. It doesn't have to be exactly how I am, but somewhere on your side so that you can have your humerus locked into place. I'm going to bicep curl up, rotate just that forearm, so we're twisting at the elbow, and then you're going to extend 1,000-pound tricep extension. Bicep curl up, rotate in flexion as always, 1,000-pound tricep extension, 1,000-pound bicep curl. One more each way, and I am fisting. My hand is fisted hardcore. Good. All the way down and back up. Now we're gonna keep the fist and we're gonna do our wrist. So I'm gonna have you bring your arm down like so. Just kind of rest that elbow, but don't let it move. And we're gonna go ahead and do our wrist car. So pull into flexion, pull down towards the floor, out into extension. Keep your hand fisted. This will affect how far you can move. That's okay. Don't flip that pancake. Use that yoga block to keep you honest. One more this way. I love microphones. But I don't love microphones like in allergy season, because then you guys get like a front row seat to the inside of my nostrils. It's just epic. Or if I can't breathe because of my allergies, it's just like a mouth breather into the microphone. Gotta love it. And relax. All right, shoulder cars from a side lying position are one of my favorite ways to do shoulder cars. I feel like gravity really assists with the stretch in just a delicious way, okay? So same exact car, we're just lying down this time. So I have my arm extended, our elbow is cemented now, okay, no bending. Twist open. As we twist open, keeping your shoulders stacked, we never lose this position. You're just gonna pull down across your body until you hit the floor. Now, if you are gonna hit the floor, just kind of scrape it gently. If you can't hit the floor, just keep reaching for it. This is us getting that titty meat going. Pulling up. Get out of my way. Just kind of scrape your face with your bicep. And this is where we do not lose that stack of the shoulder. So I'm coming up into flexion. I'm gonna begin by pouring my drink out. Go slow, kind of let gravity help you here. Keep stacked. Pour that drink out. Ooh, this stretch right here. Back into extension. Don't just let gravity do the work, but definitely let it help you. And then in by your side, you'll see I'm in internal rotation. Kick it back. Open it up. And pull yourself down. So I'm kind of pulling with my lat. Let's do it again. Find that floor, scrape it. You should be feeling this in your shoulder. I don't expect you to feel it in your shoulder on day one, but I want you to at least not be in la la land. I want you to be really thinking about what we're doing. I feel like I'm just gonna hold this now. Little T-Rex arms here. There's nothing like filming a routine and then watching the video later, realizing that just fucking sounds all fucked up. We don't have time for that. It's 2022, everyone. One more. So we're coming down. Nope. It's like a little butterfly kiss between your bicep and your face. It's pretty cute. Keep that rib cage in a position. Don't rock back. My tricep is feeling life right now. Up, back, and down. Love it. All right, let's set this bad boy. I'm just gonna I don't know if you guys can see. This is just chilling in my little elbow skin. All right. Hip cars. So I'm going to go ahead and take my third yoga block and I'm going to place it on the most precarious balance position and stick it right behind my pelvis. This is to keep you honest, you guys, because when we're doing this, if you rock back, lost the game, it's a no rep, and you got to start over, okay? So really keep it just in your hip capsule. You won't be able to move as far in certain areas as you were able to when you were standing, but the floor is also going to do a really good job of keeping your pelvis honest, okay? So don't fight the honesty here. I'm going to take my hand and just kind of put it here. This gives me a little bit more stability, as I go through this movement. So first, I'm going to go ahead and just get my leg off the bottom one. I'm going to externally rotate, so I'm going to bring my foot down to the floor. Same thing as that shoulder. I'm just going to drag it straight up. And then once I'm like, all right, that's about it, I'm gonna open the door, pee on a fire hydrant, do whatever you gotta do. Once we hit that limit, you're gonna twist in. So you've got an X here, it's twisting in. You notice my foot is coming back. At the same time, you're just gonna gently kick back into extension. Now we have a lot less extension than we think, so don't expect to do some crazy shit because that's just spine, you guys. So we're kicking, and then we pull our knees down and together, and I'm internally rotated, so I'm trying to point my quad at the floor. As you can see, my foot is a little bit higher. Kick it back, squeeze that glute, pee on the fire hydrant, twist open, really start twisting open, almost like you're gonna hacky sack yourself in the face with the inside of your ankle. 2 more here. My left hip is having a heyday today, so you guys get a really good visual of what a lackluster car looks like, but that's okay because you're gonna have days where you don't feel very good. Let's say you have the flu, but you're committed, so you're still doing your cars. They may not look very good that day. That's okay. Last one. Almost there. Internally rotate, kick it back. Awesome. Hopefully you didn't knock over your block. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring my legs up a little bit more into flexion, and now I'm going to do my knee cars. So I'm going to pull my heel into my butt. I'm going to externally rotate my tibia. Do a leg extension all the way straight. Curl it back in, fighting for more external rotation. The farther into flexion I get, now I'm going to twist IR. All the way out. All the way back in. Now you're going to be able to have more tibial rotation the farther into knee flexion that you are. As we get more into knee extension, our hip rotation and knee rotation kind of become one. So if you notice you lose some of that, the straighter your leg gets, that's completely normal. That's just how the body works. When you first start doing knee cars also, you might really be feeling a lot of the rotation in your ankle because that's where we visibly see the movement. Just know that that will change over time if you're focusing on your tibial rotation and being able to actually generate that contraction from the inside in that internal environment. All right, ankle cars, you guys. So we're gonna go ahead and keep our leg fully straight and extended this time. I'm gonna have a comfortable position with the block between my legs, and let's go ahead and get into it. So first, I'm gonna pull up in a dorsiflexion. I'm gonna evert, draw a big circle here, point those toes, invert, come up, 2 more this way. And as we do this, we're trying to not rotate from the hip because our leg is straight. If you rotate here, you know, that's obviously not the ankle, you guys. Now I'm in shoes, so this might affect, you know, my ability to access full range of motion of my ankle a little bit, but they're my Vivos, switch directions, so generally I'm able to access most, if not all, of that movement that I need.
Yeah, I just got a complicated situation with this.
Nice. All right, guys, let's go ahead and switch sides. All right, you guys, so we're gonna go ahead and do the other side. Just go ahead and flip over. Let's get into it with our neck. Okay, so again, I've got my elbow propping me up here, my other hand here for some stability. This is the same neck car that we do standing. Just pay attention to how the difference in position makes you feel. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull into flexion, rotate, drop, extend up. As we do this, I don't want you to just kind of collapse into this side. Keep a strong arm here and kind of post yourself up. Switch directions. Really focusing on tucking that chin. Rotate, then jut that chin forward.
Try to pull it. Yeah. That's
Awesome. All right. Let's go ahead and get into these scapular cars. Let's just go ahead and we'll just leave you there. All right. So I'm just going to hug myself with my other hand. I don't remember what I did on the other side. I'm going to keep my shoulders stacked, and I'm going to push into protraction. Up into elevation, back into retraction, and then down. And really imagine your shoulder blade like moving around your rib cage as we do this, because a lot of the times I feel like we'll try to compensate by moving our rib cage. And right now we're trying to keep our rib cage still and just find the path with our shoulder blade to move around it as much as we can. We have switched directions. We got 2 more. Pull it back, up, forward, and down. 1 more. Awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and stick this in here. Yoga block is on my side. I'm gonna lock. Oh yeah, that's right. We got T-Rex arms here. So I'm gonna go ahead and lock my humerus into my side, and we're gonna do elbow extensions here. So I'm going to find that aggressive bicep curl, rotate, so it's coming from the elbow, 1,000-pound tricep extension, all the way straight. 1,000-pound bicep curl up, rotate. Ooh, I don't think you guys can hear that with the microphone being on my mouth, but you might notice some pressure and some pops as we do these, and that's okay. Pull it back, rotate, up. Last one. All right, now let's switch to wrist. So you're just gonna kind of lay comfortably. I'm gonna have the inside of my palm facing my face. Say that 10 times fast. Actually, it's probably not that hard. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and pull into flexion. Bring it around. Extension. And as you go through like radial and ulnar deviation, you are not gonna have as much of that side to side as you do extension and flexion. So don't expect that it's more of an oval. It's less of a cute circle. Don't flip that pancake. Switch directions. Oh my goodness, this feels just tasty today. Ugh. And relax. Nice job. All right, now we're off to do shoulders. So let's see if I can just... This is a terrible plan. We're going to T-Rex it. All right. So this is where we've got our hand externally rotated. I'm going to bring it down to the floor. Adduct as we come up. Into flexion. Hug yourself in the face with your bicep. Now from here, pour that drink out. It's the same as when we were standing, but this time we're not going to let our chest fall open. Stay like this. Keep pouring that drink out. Keep twisting as you reach back behind you. Let gravity assist in that stretch. And I'm internally rotated. Kick it back. Rotate up. And down. 2 more. Scrape that floor, or at least reach for it. Up by your face, into flexion. Give yourself a little butterfly kiss. Oh my goodness. I love the shoulder stretch from side lying. Kick it back. Twist open. We've got one more. Back into external rotation. Last one. Rotate, rotate, rotate. Pull back. Extension and internal rotation, and then we get that drink back in the cup as we come up, back, and around. All right, let's go ahead and do our hip. So take that block or whatever you have, place it right behind your pelvis. I'm just gonna how did I have this, you guys? I think like this. We're gonna do this, okay? Hopefully this is close enough to my mouth. I feel like it is. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and bring that foot off of the bottom leg a little bit and externally rotate. Drag that floor up, open that door, keep everything stacked, internally rotate as you also kick back towards the wall without going into your lumbar spine. Internally rotate, bring those knees down, kick it back, up, externally rotate, hacky sack yourself in the face. Good, there's one. No lean back. Make sure that yoga block is on your ass, literally. Yep, all the way up. Externally rotate. The floor will get in the way of your external rotation. That's okay. Nice. All right, take that yoga block. Place it between your legs. I'm going to come up a little bit more into hip flexion here. And now we've got our knee cars. So pull it into knee flexion and externally rotate that tibia or your shin. Pull it straight into extension. Curl with the back of your knee. All the way at the end, internally rotate. Now when we did this from a standing position, we are in hip extension. When we're doing that right now, we are in hip flexion. So that's going to change a little bit, like the stretch that you feel on your gastroc or, like the very top of your calf behind your knee. It might affect how you feel it in your hamstring. There's a lot of things here, that can kind of change the feelings that you have. This is why it's so important to understand what your car is and not just rely on how it looks from one position or how it feels from one position. Last one in IR. Nice. All right, all the way out into knee extension. Hold this quad extension, and we're going to do our ankle. So up into dorsiflexion, out into eversion. Tried to switch it up on y'all. I won't do that to you. Plantar flexion, and then inversion. I'm scraping the floor because I've got quite a bit of ankle inversion. That's okay if you don't have that much. You can always just elevate your foot a little bit. Maybe we'll do that. Last one this way. And switch directions. So now we're coming out into eversion, up into dorsiflexion, invert, plantar flexion, 2 more. Oh, you ever had an ankle pump? It's kind of weird, but I kind of like it. Awesome. We are done. Nice work, you guys. This was sideline cars. It's just another layer of inputs to making us the best we can be at our cars routine.